to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! At kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo! Alam mo ba to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo
Alam mo ba 'to? Sa kwento at kaalaman, panalo tayo. Have you ever felt uncomfortable telling others about your conditions or someone who didn't understand your what you're going through? Well, in this episode, we're going to remove that stigma, and you're not alone, of course. In this episode, we're going to talk about the breaking of stigma, often talks about, and kidney. And then I'm your host, 𝗕𝗺𝗺𝗺, the clinical manager. Then if you want to learn something from others' journey, especially in kidney disease guests, and you're in the right podcast. Okay, let's get ready, mga kabato. Before we start, hello to everyone, especially everyone in the live stream. Okay. Before we start, please comment your any questions if you have, and then we're going to if you have questions, please don't hesitate to comment in the comment box. And we have dialysis Eldan Tandog. He's excited to hear from Mr. Kamal, of course. And then please don't forget to like and share and tag to your friends so that they can learn something for today. And then, of course, stay with us until the end. I'm going to read those questions. Okay. And then today we will talk about the stigma about the kidney disease and then affect the people emotionally. And then how we can support each other. Of course, if we're going to tell to the others or to our family, if it will lighten our load. And of course, help us understand this episode. We have a very special guest. He's not just a leader or what do you call this? He's our co-founder, none other than Mr. Kamal Shah.
Hi, everybody. My name is 𝗕𝗔𝗧𝗢. I am the co-founder of nephroplusphilippines, and I have been on dialysis for about 29 years now. And I lead a normal life, a fairly normal life. I swim every morning. I work full day. I travel. I exercise. I have fun. I go for a movie, go out for a meal with family or friends, and I lead a pretty much normal life. And I co-founded nephroplusphilippines because I believe that anybody on dialysis can lead a completely normal life. And at nephroplusphilippines, we believe that if we get good quality dialysis and if we are willing and to fight and take back control of our lives, we can do it. And that's the purpose of nephroplusphilippines existing today. And I'm really glad to be here on this podcast in Manila, talking to the team and talking to all of you. Really excited to be here. Thank you.
Sir, regarding sir the understanding the stigma, have you ever experienced someone who didn't understand your case, sir?
Yeah, that has happened quite a few times because honestly, unless somebody has a first-hand experience with kidney failure and dialysis, it is very difficult to understand what that individual is going through. So a number of times I've been asked, what do you do? I mean, what is dialysis? And don't you feel tired and don't you feel sick? And those kind of questions. But I try to explain to them that yes, there are some people who do that, who feel that way, but it's not always the case. And it is possible to lead a fairly normal life on dialysis. And especially, I get a lot of questions about my access because in dialysis, especially long-term dialysis, the access veins can become a little large and they can look a little ugly. So a lot of people ask me about my access, and it is a little bit of a, I need to explain to them that I'm on dialysis and this is an access that's used for the treatment.
Did you feel shy?
I do.
Yeah.
Initially, first
Yeah.
few years of being on dialysis, I did feel shy and I felt even embarrassed
Yes.
in the early days of being on dialysis. I was wondering how I could answer questions because people don't really know about dialysis all that much. So, first few years I did feel, but then I learned and I felt that there's nothing to be embarrassed about because honestly, this is not something that I have done wrong. It is something that has happened to me, and in fact, if anything, I should be proud of the fact that I'm fighting this disease with gumption, with courage, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Okay. And how you dealt with it, sir? Especially if you don't have support coming from your friends or family, how you deal with it, sir?
So I think for me, I did get a lot of support from my friends and family, but at the same time, friends and family are not always going to be with you. You know, you go out in situations, you go out for work, you go out, to various places, and friends and family are not always going to be with you. So I think I took it upon myself to educate people about the issue about dialysis in general, and that the fact that dialysis happens through veins, and the veins can become large, and dialysis per se is not something to be shy about or something to be embarrassed about. So I always used to take the opportunity to educate the person whom I'm having a conversation
Yes, sir.
with, and trying to get them to understand what it takes to be on dialysis.
Okay, sir. But still, you can do your this. You still have hobbies, sir?
I do. So I have hobbies. I bake bread when I'm free, and I love to cook certain things. So I do that, and I also, like I mentioned, I swim every morning,
Yes.
and I write. I write for a blog which is 𝗕𝗔𝗧𝗢.com. I write on my blog where I have talked about my entire journey with kidney failure and dialysis and how people can lead normal lives despite being on dialysis. I've written a book. The book is there, Silver Lining, it's called. So I love to write. So these are all the hobbies, and I believe that anybody on dialysis should fill their lives with
Yeah.
interesting things to look forward to.
Yeah, so you can still do those things even though you're doing the dialysis treatment. Sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Okay. And so what can we do to help people understand the kidney disease better, sir?
I think there are a lot of misconceptions among the general public on what kidney disease actually does to you. People feel that once somebody gets onto dialysis, it's pretty much the end of life. People are restricted to their beds. They cannot work, travel. They cannot have fun. Their lives become very frustrated. That's what people believe. But fortunately, that's not true. If you are getting good quality dialysis and you have a positive frame of mind, you can lead a normal life. You can do what you wish to do, like work, travel, have fun, exercise, do things that healthy individuals do. So I think it's important for us to educate people at large and convince them that dialysis need not mean the end of life, right? It is a
Yes, sir.
beginning of a slightly different life where you need to do your dialysis treatments and then get on with the rest of your life. Dialysis should not encompass your whole life. It should remain a small part of your life, and you need to have other parts of your life like work, travel, friends, family, hobbies, and so on.
Yes, sir. I know that you're doing your dialysis treatment for 8 hours, right? And some others are doing 4 hours. Can you share some thoughts or some suggestions to our guests, especially to our guest dialysis?
Right. So, see, what is dialysis? Dialysis is nothing but a replacement of kidney function. Now,
Yes.
how many hours per day does your kidney function?
It's almost 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yes.
And does your kidney take a break on Sundays?
no.
No, it doesn't,
No,
right?
it doesn't.
So all the people, healthy people's kidneys, they work 24 into 7 into 365. They work continuously. Now, what is dialysis? Dialysis is the replacement of that kidney function. So logically, when you think about it, the more the number of hours on the dialysis machine, the closer you are to healthy kidney function. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So while of course it is not practical to be on dialysis 24/7 by 365, the idea is to reach as close to that goal as possible, as practically possible, and which affords you a normal life. You should be able to do other things like, whatever I talked about: work, travel, exercise, have fun. So you need to have enough hours to do those things, but the rest of the hours, ideally, you should spend on the machine. The the main thing is to follow your doctor's dialysis prescription. If your doctor has asked you to do three
Three
times a
times.
week, 4 hours each time, do not compromise
Skip.
on that. Do not
Yeah.
skip treatments. Do not shorten your treatments, because every minute you shorten from your dialysis treatment per week is going
Yeah.
to affect the rest of your body. Because when
Yeah.
kidneys don't work, it's not only the kidneys, but the entire body gets affected, right? From the skin to the liver to the heart to the bones, every single organ of the body is affected. So we need to get as many hours as the doctor has prescribed on the machine.
Okay, sir. So, sir, some patients are what they call this, are at least doing that twice. What do you suggest, or maybe a word for them, at least to continue to fight and at least do the three times at least?
Right. So I think it's important to follow your nephrologist's prescription. There are some patients who can get away with twice a week dialysis, but those are patients who typically have some residual kidney function. That is, their kidneys are functioning not fully, but partially. For them, nephrologists sometimes make an exception and say that they can do twice a week dialysis, but that's because their kidneys are having some function. But a lot of dialysis patients, their kidneys don't function at all. So for them, three times a week is the bare minimum they need to get, for a decent quality of life.
Okay, sir. That's well said, sir. Okay, sir. Since that you're continuous every other week, right, sir? Doing the dialysis every other week, every other day.
I dialyze 5 times a week, and I dialyze for 7 hours each night.
Okay. So, is there anything you would like to add, sir, or some words for our audience, sir?
I think I'd like to say that unfortunately there is a very bad misconception that exists among dialysis patients, their families, and the public at large, that once somebody gets onto dialysis, life cannot be the same. But at Nephroplus, we strongly believe that life can be normal even when kidneys are not. So I think all of us need to have a positive outlook towards life. We need to believe that we can fight and get our life back. We should never give up and say that, oh my God, I've been diagnosed with kidney failure and I need to be on dialysis for a long time, and then give up on the rest of our life. While I understand a diagnosis of kidney failure can come as a huge shock to an individual, to the family, and so on, and the fact that you need to get this treatment called dialysis thrice a week, 4 hours each time, sitting on a bed, your hands being poked with two large needles. It can be a shock. It can be bothersome. I agree and I understand and I appreciate. I've been through this myself. However, it's important for all of us to realize that being diagnosed with kidney failure and having to do dialysis is by no means the end of the rest of your life. Fight back, regain control of your life, get on with the rest of your life, work full time if possible. If not possible, work at least part time. If not able to work part time, take up a hobby, keep that mind busy. I always say that kidney disease is more of a psychological disease than a physiological one, because it affects the mind greatly. So we need to get control of our mind and not let it go into this negative spiral of negative emotions. We need to fight, take our life back, work, keep busy, take up a sport, take up some physical activity, do something for your mental health, take up a hobby, and so on, and you can lead a normal life.
Okay, Sir Kamal. Thank you very much for that wonderful, powerful message and for your stories. And those stories reminds us that every dialysis guest in the Philippines or all over the world, they're not alone. We are here as a family.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And to all our subscribers, we're going to at least do the questions live, and then sure. Okay. Sir Kamal Shop, pwede po ba na sa Nephroplus Center ang lagyan nyo na po ba na isang brand new machine? Cause pag nasira ang isa, apektado ang isang patient ang pati nurses, please. Sir, sir, how can I deal with people who don't understand my illness?
Try to explain to them that this illness is definitely an issue. However, it does not define me. I have many other things that I am. It's not necessarily that you look at me only as a dialysis patient. I am let's say you're a software developer or a manager or a marketing executive. All these things together define me. It's not only my illness that defines me. And talk to them about the same things that I've already mentioned multiple times, that dialysis does not mean the end of life, and many people lead very good lives on dialysis. There are people who run marathons on dialysis. There are a lot of things that people have achieved despite being on dialysis. So explain to them, give them examples of people in your life whom you've seen, and tell them that by no means does this disease define me.
Okay. Di ba yung question natin do sa live for Sir Kamal, kung paano daw na-deal ni Sir Kamal yung understand yung regarding niya sa sakit yung sa during dialysis. So di ba Sir Kamal, kumbaga pinapakita niya doon sa mga sa ibang tao, at least nagagawa niya yung mga normal na hobby niya, yung mga ginagawa niya like swimming.
You have to translate to English, I think. Yeah, I'm not able to understand.
Yes, sir. I'm just
explaining. Okay, got it.
And yun, kaya ginagawa ng Sir Kamal, still pinapaliwanag niya dun sa sa ibang tao na kumbaga pinapakita niya na nagagawa niya yung mga normal na activity. And then sir, what should I do if I feel shy about my condition, sir?
There is nothing to feel shy about. It is not something that you have done. It is not something that you are being punished for. Do not look at this disease as a negative thing. There's nothing to feel shy about. There's nothing wrong you have done. So, you need to be brave. You need to be courageous. In fact, you're fighting a battle that nobody else, that many other people do not have to fight. You're going about your life despite being on dialysis. So do not feel shy about it. Feel confident. Look at what is positive in your life apart from your treatment. There are a number of things that you need to be proud of. There are a number of things that you've achieved in your life so far. So talk about that. Remember that. And do not feel shy or embarrassed about your kidney disease.
Okay. Di ba sabi ni Sir Kamal regarding dun sa question ng isang viewer natin na ano gagawin kung nahihiya siya regarding to sa condition niya. So sabi niya naman kailangan maging matatag, tapos tiwala sa sarili para at least makita ng ibang tao na talagang ginagawa niya yung mga yung mga normal na ginagawa niya para at least kumbaga hindi siya nahihiya kung ano yung sa estado niya ngayon. Hi Sir Kamal, advice for the patients na nagsimula pa lang sa dialysis. Okay. Your advice for the patient who started the dialysis, sir.
Okay, that's a good one. So Uh, what I'd like to say to those who have just started recently on dialysis is that, of course, apart from the things that I've mentioned so far, is to try to learn and read up about your condition as much as possible. Try to understand what is dialysis, what is kidney failure, what are the functions of the kidneys, what are the functions of the kidneys that dialysis replaces, and there are some functions of the kidneys that dialysis does not replace. So what you need to do by means of diet, by means of medication, by means of some injections, in to be able to compensate for the rest of the functions of kidney failure. So read up as much as possible. Also, read up about the different options for treatment for kidney failure. Unfortunately, what happens in a lot of cases is that once somebody gets diagnosed with kidney failure, they are immediately put on hemodialysis and asked to get an access for hemodialysis. But there are three other options apart from hemodialysis, which are good treatments for kidney failure. One is peritoneal dialysis, then there is the kidney transplant, and then you have conservative care. So read up about all the four options of dialysis of kidney failure for treatment for kidney failure, and then along with your doctor, have a discussion with your doctor and understand what are the pros and cons of each option, which option is good in what stage of life, and then take a considered decision along with your nephrologist in terms of which option is good for kidney failure. Apart from that, make sure you get vaccinated for hepatitis B, because that is a dangerous disease and it can be transmitted by blood, and blood is going out of your body during your hemodialysis treatment. So please get vaccinated for hepatitis B. Talk to your nephrologist about getting vaccinated for hepatitis B. And if there's a cadaver transplant program in your area, learn more about transplants, what are cadaver transplants, and talk to your nephrologist if you can register for the cadaver transplant program.
Okay. Next question, Sir Kamal. This is for you. What gives you hope when dialysis feels overwhelming?
So dialysis can feel overwhelming. You know, it from time to time there are issues that come up which are fairly significant, not trivial, and then you do get overwhelmed by the whole treatment, by the whole things apart from the dialysis treatment as well. I think what gives me hope is that there will be a better tomorrow, that no issue is permanent. There are solutions for every issue. Whoever it is, your problem is not unique. There are hundreds of people who've gone through the same problems in the past. There are solutions for most problems. So I believe that there is a solution to my problems, and I talk to my doctor and try to figure out by reading up online as well, and then having a discussion with the doctor about the problems, and then finding a solution. The desire for normalcy, right? The desire for a baseline of normal life is always in my mind, is always what I yearn for. So I always make it a point to have a discussion with the doctor and then come up with a solution to the problems, and then it will no longer feel that overwhelming.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And here's another, sir. May I ask for your message to those who believe that staying away from the clinic as much as possible helps them feel normal, as they feel that more frequent treatments make them feel more like a patient?
So this is a classic contradiction that exists in the treatment for kidney failure, especially hemodialysis. While it may seem logical that the more treatments you do makes you feel more like a patient and makes you get more complications and fatigue and so on, the tricky part here is to understand that the more dialysis you do, the better you will feel. Because once you get more treatments, you're removing toxins from the blood, you're removing fluid from the blood frequently, and that brings your body back into a state of normalcy. So you will feel much better if you get more treatments or more hours on the machine compared to less treatments and less hours. I know it seems kind of very illogical, but the body is like this and the treatment is like this, and you have to accept it and try it out. I would say if you have this doubt, try it out for a few weeks and see how you're feeling and then decide.
And what can we do to normalize the conversation about the dialysis?
I think, like I've mentioned in the previous answers, it is important for people to be aware that there are people around the world who are leading normal lives on dialysis. Just to give you an example, uh, just a couple of days back on Sunday, there's a lady called Madeline Warren from the UK. She's
Okay.
been on dialysis for more than 25 years. She's on dialysis in the UK, and
Okay.
she ran the London Marathon, right? The London
Wow.
Marathon. So, if a dialysis patient can do a marathon, which healthy individuals often find
Yeah,
difficult,
yeah.
what what is there that a dialysis patient cannot? So, I think we need such examples to be talked about more in the press, among general conversations, among conversations that we have with our family and friends and colleagues, that dialysis does not need to prevent you from doing anything at all.
Okay, sir. About this, what gives you hope in your journey or in helping other?
I think lot of too many people are, they give up when they get on this journey of dialysis. Too many people, they just get very disheartened. What gives me hope is that when I talk about such things and people, learn that this does not need to prevent you from leading a normal life, more and more people can get to know that this is possible. And I think that the fact that there are people who are leading normal lives despite being on dialysis, I think that itself gives a lot of people hope. And when that happens, just imagine the change in their perspective. They, from a situation of feeling helpless and hopeless, they suddenly realize that this does not need to be the case. If I am willing to fight for myself, it is possible that I get my life back. So I think that is a very important hope that I have when I speak about this in various public fora.
Okay, sir. Hi, Sir Kamal. Is it possible to travel around the Philippines or other countries while on treatment?
Absolutely, it is very possible to travel. In fact, if you just look at the screen behind us, Nephroplus has a holiday dialysis program where you can travel to various destinations in the Philippines. We have our clinics in some very nice holiday destinations, and you can take advantage of this program. And if you are a Nephroplus guest already, all you need to do is tell your center manager, and your entire medical record is transmitted electronically without you having to submit a single document or getting any tests done. If you are not an Nephroplus guest, then you should get in touch with our customer care, and our customer care number is available on our website, or you can use Facebook Messenger and so on, and get in touch with our customer care and find out how you can get a dialysis session where you are traveling to. And even beyond the Philippines, we have clinics in some very nice holiday destinations around the world. So you can definitely travel, wherever you want, and chances are that there is a good quality dialysis center close to you.
Oh, I see, sir. So it seems like that our guest was not going to bring those documents, those
Absolutely.
requirements. Yeah,
Yep.
please. It will lighten their load, sir. And in fighting this stigma, sir, what activities would you suggest that can help us feel like we're regaining the fight once we thought we had lost because of dialysis?
So I think in terms of activities, I would strongly suggest to try to work, because work is something that gives our lives meaning. If you're able to work full time, nothing like it. That's the best option. If you're not able to work full time, at least work a few hours a day, depending on your physical situation and your ability to do some work. If you're not able to work even part time, take up some hobby. I think it's important for our mind to be busy. We need to have something to do, something to look forward to, something to that gives us the motivation to get out of the bed every morning. So try to work is one important thing, or keep busy is one important thing. Second thing I would say is to take up a hobby and have something to do even when you're not working. Third thing I would say is to take up some kind of exercise. if you are playing a sport, try to get back to that sport. Always talk to your nephrologist before you make any changes to your regular schedule. But if you are able to and your nephrologist agrees, go back to the sport that you're used to. If you're not able to go back to a sport, do at least some kind of walking every day. That helps you to exercise that body, gives you some fresh air, something to get out of the house, and give some recreation to your mind as well. So these are the few things I would say will help you feel more normal, when you are on dialysis.
Okay. Addition to that, siguro kailangan talaga is patuloy lang talaga yung mga ginagawa natin para hindi natin maisip na yung ginagawa natin is mabigat, lalo na yung sa pagdadialysis. I just told them that they should continue their life even though they're doing the dialysis treatment,
Sure,
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir. And here's another question, sir. Hi, sir. What has been the most challenging part, physically or emotionally?
I would say it's both are 50-50, because dialysis takes a physical toll on your body for sure, because it affects, kidney failure affects all the organs of the body. But what is often overlooked is the emotional part. The fact that you have to give up your dreams, the fact that you have to change your plans, give up a lot of some major plans, and then be hooked to a machine thrice a week with 2 needles in your arms, that can take a huge emotional toll. So I think one thing that I would like all the people watching this show is to not neglect your mental health. Remember that it can affect the mind. Remember, it can affect your self-esteem. Remember that it can affect your ability to hold yourself in the middle of conversations, the middle of discussions about your health with your family or medical professionals. And the mental health is an extremely important part that you should never neglect. So both equally is what I would say.
Good day, Sir Kamal. What made Nephroplus different from other hemodialysis provider?
I think at Nephroplus, we believe that dialysis is not a treatment that merely extends your life, but dialysis is something that can help you get back your life. And when I say get back your life, I mean a healthy, a normal life where you do things that healthy individuals are doing. Uh, I wouldn't like to comment on other providers, but often dialysis is looked as like a checkbox activity, that the patient comes, dialysis is done, and the patient goes. Many times what is missed is what impact is that dialysis treatment having on the quality of life, not merely the length of life, but is the patient who's coming for dialysis able to do something productive during the day? So that's what I think Nephroplus, we really believe that we need to make an impact on the quality of the life of our guests, and we want our guests to get back their life. We do not want them to just come for their dialysis treatment and go back home and then lie down on the bed the whole day and watch TV or watch reels on social media. We want them to go back home and get ready and go to their office for work, or to take up a sport and things like I kept mentioning already, that we believe that the quality of life also needs to be impacted by dialysis, because that whole effort of undergoing dialysis takes up a lot of resources, right? Like, it takes up a lot of money. The government pays for those treatments. It takes up a lot of time because the family member and the patient are both coming to the clinic. The whole thing is very resource intensive. So what is the point of the treatment if all this is just resulting in somebody being bedridden? So we believe at Nephroplus that we will do all we can to get back the individual's life.
Okay, sir. So what are the signs people often ignore before getting diagnosed, sir?
It's a very important question. The good thing about kidney disease is that it can be reversed or slowed down. The progress can be slowed down if caught in early stages. So the signs that you should look out for are fatigue or frothy urine, or things like dark urine, or a feeling of nausea, basically not feeling good about yourself. These are the basic signs. There could be even edema, that is swelling of the feet, the ankles, sometimes the eyes. So these are all the signs that we should watch out for. And after the age of 40, I think all of us should get an annual health
Annual.
checkup that basically covers all the major organs of the body. I think these are important things. But apart from that, the signs that I just mentioned are important.
Okay. We still have questions. Sir Kamal, what's one thing you wish every patient knew about their kidney health?
When you say patient, I'm not sure if you're meaning dialysis patient or people with early CKD, but I'll answer both. I think dialysis patients, I think one thing that I wish they knew was that, again, at the risk of repeating myself, is I wish they knew that they could lead a normal life and they could get back to work, travel, have fun, etc. And CKD patients, I think one thing I wish they knew was, don't take this disease easily. A lot of people, they take it for granted and they don't believe that they can end up with CKD stage 5 where they require dialysis. But CKD patients, early stage especially, you should know that if you take good care of your health, if you watch out for yourself, then you can prevent kidney disease from progressing. So that is what I would like CKD patients to know, that a lot of people, they don't understand what it means to be on dialysis, so they often take their health for granted. So never take your health for granted.
Yeah, so they really need to at least take care of themselves and for a regular checkup with the and
Absolutely.
the hospital.
Yeah.
At least so they at least they have a baseline if they have a problem in the kidneys or in other organs.
Right.
Yeah. And another question, sir. Hi, Sir Kamal. If you could design one awareness campaign about dialysis, what message would you want it to share?
I think I would like it to say, life can be normal even when your kidneys are not. I think that's the message I would like to give in short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
This is a question for you.
yes, for me, for clinical manager, how do you ensure patients feel safe, respected, and understood? I'm going to answer this first
Sure,
in Tagalog,
please.
sir.
Please.
Well, kumbaga sa una, lalo na yung pagkadating ng pasyente namin sa center, inaalalayan na namin 'yon. Kumbaga yung mga bag dinadala na namin, tapos hanggang sa timbangan, then after sa timbangan diretso doon sa upuan. Tapos kumbaga nire-respect namin yung pasyente dun, lalo na yung kung ano yung especially na alam namin yung religion, kung ano yung mga bawal, kung ano yung mga gusto ng patient. So, tapos lalo na pagka kakwentuhan namin yung mga pasyente during dialysis treatment nila, kasi kailangan at least ma-feel nila na hindi sila basta pasyente. Kumbaga we treat them as a family. So pagka nandun sila sa unit or sa center, kumbaga nandun nakikipagkwentuhan, pero hindi lang basta kwentuhan, nandun yung inaalam namin at least sa background check or clinical check up sa kanila, kung kumakain ba sila ng mga bawal or kung ano yung mga kinain nila before, at least the day before ng treatment nila, para at least nalalaman namin kung ano yung mga bawal na kinakain nila, para at least na-advise namin sila kung kailangan nila i-stop, lalo na pagka during assessment namin yung sa mga tawag dito, yung pagka may manas sila, lalo na sa paa. So doon pumapasok yung clinical management namin, kung ilan yung sineset up namin na UF doon sa pasyente. So hanggang sa hanggang sa makauwi yung pasyente, tawag doon, even though na nakauwi yung pasyente natin or your guest natin is hindi natatapos doon. Kumbaga still we're trying to call them or interact with them, lalo na pag even though na nasa bahay sila, kinakamusta natin, lalo na especially pagka nag-i-skip sila ng treatment, tinatanong natin kung kamusta na yung patient, anong nangyari sa patient. And also pag lalo na pag nasa ospital yung pasyente, pag tinatanong natin kung kamusta na sila, kailan ulit sila magpapadialysis sa atin. So marami tayong kino-consider lalo na doon sa mga pasyente. Kumbaga kailangan kasi talaga natin itrato sila as a family. How can healthcare providers help educate communities and reduce stigma?
You want me to take that?
I'll take that, sir.
Sure.
Okay, sir. Well, dun sa when it comes to healthcare provider, we're trying at least to educate them before they leave the center. We're trying to at least healthy foods, do the regular exercise, and then of course it is important also for the at least to have a family bonding, so that our guests or some normal family will have live a normal life, because it's really hard to find someone already na kung magbabase lang tayo dun sa kung ano yung tawag dito, kung ano yung estado ng tao, I mean the status of the person, hindi naman pwede yun. Kumbaga kailangan at least masuportahan natin yung especially the education, yung ideas, para at least hindi sila alam nila kung paano sila mag-a-adjust, especially when it comes dun sa mga kinakain, tapos yung dun sa lifestyle na meron sila. For Sir Kamal, hello Sir Kamal, what advice would you give to people working in dialysis industry? And second is there anything you would like to impart to them so they can better help and support others?
This is a very important question, because see, podcasts like this are held once in a month or, even lower frequency, but the people working in the healthcare industry who are caring for dialysis patients, they are interacting with their patients on a regular basis, thrice a week, and so on. It's a beautiful opportunity for healthcare workers to counsel their patients and tell them that, what are the things they can do to get their life back. For example, the fact that they should not skip dialysis treatments, they should not reduce the number of hours, the importance of adhering to the fluid limits, the importance of adhering to the diet, potassium, phosphorus, and so on. So I think the healthcare providers have a wonderful opportunity where they can counsel their patients into getting, ending up with much better outcomes from their dialysis. I'd like to answer one more question that's there, which is on the physical activities, right, that I do. There's one question, if you can just go up. So there was one question that says, what are the physical activities or sports that you play? So while, any physical activity that you are generally used to, that you should take up because your body is already attuned to that particular sport. In my case, I was swimming even before I got diagnosed with kidney failure, and I swim even today. So I try to not miss my every morning swim. I swim mostly 5 to 6 days a week, and I swim for about 30 minutes. Another important thing that I would like to stress upon is the importance of strength training. What happens with long-term dialysis is the muscles start wasting, the bones become a little weak. So it is very important for dialysis patients as early in their journey as possible to take up at least 30 minutes of strength training where they can strengthen their legs and arms so that they do not get into the situation where they find it difficult to walk a little longer distance, climb a flight of stairs, or even get up from the chair and sit on their own. So it is important that all of us take up strength training in some form or this thing in our daily life. And what we will do is our Nephroplusphilippines team, I will share a PDF of some very simple exercises that or anybody on dialysis can take up. And we'll share this PDF on our social media please download that PDF. It's completely free for all dialysis patients. Please download that PDF and then do the exercises mentioned in that PDF every day, or at least 5 to 6 times a week. It will help you preserve the strength in your legs and arms.
Sir, every journey is different. Can you take us back to the time when you first found out your kidneys needed some help? How did that chapter of your life begin, sir?
Yeah, so this was July 1997. I was 21 years old. I had just got my visa for the US. I was planning to go to the US for my master's in chemical engineering. And suddenly I got this diagnosis of kidney failure. Initially, it came as a huge shock because at that point, I hadn't even heard the word dialysis. So you can imagine the level of awareness in 1997 when I was 21. So I did not know what it meant to be on dialysis. I did not know anybody on dialysis, but it did come as a huge shock because it was very clear that I could not go to the US, and my entire plan of going to the US for my master's was shattered. So it came as a huge shock, but my doctors kept me going. They told me this is a temporary thing and that I would get better soon, but that didn't happen. So there were a few setbacks, and every time, there was a little hope that came into my life about this problem being no longer there. But unfortunately, it did not happen. Now it's been 29 years and I'm still on dialysis. So I think it does come as a shock. But what I would like to say is that all of us need to have the resilience and the belief, the firm belief that we can get back to normal.
Okay, sir. What message you would like to give the patient who give up and decide to discontinue taking the dialysis, sir, and skipping the session?
So skipping sessions is never a good idea. There are two things there. One is that you will feel sick, you will feel bad in the short term itself, because if you skip a session, your body is going to start accumulating toxins, your body is going to start accumulating fluid, and you're not going to feel well. It might give you that initial euphoria that you've skipped a session, but a few hours down the line itself, you're going to feel you're going to feel uncomfortable, and that can be a really bad feeling because you will feel like you're drowning. So do not skip sessions. And for those who give up, there's no need to give up, because I understand that being on dialysis, being hooked to a machine thrice a week can seem like a challenge. But while initially it does seem frustrating and extremely unnerving, over a period of time, you and your body both will get used to it, and you will find ways by which you can get back to a normal life where dialysis just remains a small part of your life and you have other aspects in your life to look forward to. So don't give up. It's not that bad.
Okay. Okay, this is for me, sir. Sir Mark, what role the healthcare team play in changing public perception about kidney disease? About changing the public perception, siguro yun yung kailangan talaga ng more on healthcare na lectures, I guess, para at least mas aware mas tumaas yung awareness ng bawat tao, yung buong family doon sa mga activities, kasi maraming we have so many factors that can affect especially the kidney disease. So we really need at least more awareness, at least have a knowledge regarding this, what are the factors, at least we can avoid those causes. So, Sir Mark, how do you guide your team when handling sensitive patient situation? Okay, example in my center, I'm handling at least right now 8 centers. Kailangan kasi at least we need to focus more on lectures and experience or skills, especially for our nurses who give those medical what do you call this? Those medical cares. So ano kailangan talaga i-handle mo. So you need to train them at least a lot, so to get more experience. So their medical skills or knowledge will be broad. Hi sir, what can you suggest?
We already took this question. You
Yes,
can change this.
we're done, sir. Sir.
Okay,
What's your
diet. Yeah, diet is an important thing. So I think there are a few guidelines that I keep in mind. One is I try to get some protein in every meal that I have, because protein is an extremely important part of the dialysis patient's diet. We need to get at least 1.2 grams of protein per kg of body weight in 24 hours. So I try to get at least some form of protein every meal, and I'm vegetarian, so it makes it all the more difficult, but I try nevertheless. I also avoid high potassium foods like coconut, and other. There are some fruits that are allowed, some fruits that are not allowed. So I make sure that I adhere to the fruits. And phosphorus for me is not a big problem, but I understand it is a major problem in the Philippines, because Philippine diet is very high in meat and so on. But being a vegetarian, I don't need to worry too much about phosphorus. So for me, that's not an issue. But other than that, I have a fairly normal diet, but broadly low sodium, high protein, and low potassium is what I keep in mind.
In addition to that, for our guest or patient, maybe at least we can avoid fruits or sour foods, because most of the patient that I handle is they're having a complication if they're totally they consume everything, especially the whole apple, just like that, because some of our PODs or doctors are allowing them, but just a slice, but still depend.
Finished this question already.
Next question, sir.
This also is done.
It's done.
Yeah, so the book is available on Amazon. You can go to the Amazon website and order a copy, but we will make the link available through our social media channels on how you can order a book. We will provide a QR code as well. So it is available online, and online in terms of you can order a Kindle copy or a physical copy online. I don't think it's available in bookstores in the Philippines yet, but you can order a physical copy or a Kindle copy online. And we'll share the link soon.
Okay. For me, what qualities do you think are the most important for someone working in the dialysis care? Maybe the more important things is having the experience, of course, because without experience, how are we going to do those skills or management for our patient or for our guest? Okay, sir. Sir, have you ever cheated on your fluid limits to feel normal for one afternoon, and how did you deal with the guilt the next day, sir?
That is not a fair question. Yes, I have cheated, and I paid very heavily, for cheating. It's not a good idea to cheat on your fluid limits. So there was a situation in the first year of my being on dialysis, and we had gone out, for a drive that day from home, a little far off, and it was pretty hot that day, and I did drink a lot of fluid. That night, around midnight or so, I suddenly started having severe shortness of breath, and I had to ask my family to rush me to the dialysis center where they did an emergency dialysis session, and they removed the extra fluid. So cheating on your fluid limits is not at all a good idea. Never do it. Don't even try it. It can have really major consequences. I was lucky that I had my family to rush me to a dialysis center close by, and that dialysis center did take me and do an emergency dialysis session. But not always lucky. We may not have that facility, so it could lead to disastrous consequences. So never cheat on your fluid limits.
On addition to that, at least we could limit for our dialysis patient or guest at least on 1 liter per day. It includes the water that you use on your coffee, and also in the what do you call this? The food that more on watery, especially the rice. Sir Mark, what myths about dialysis do you wish people would stop believing? Pamahin. Do you believe in myths, sir? I'm thinking.
That I think a lot of people believe that the less dialysis you do, the better it is, or the better you
Yeah.
feel. I think that is a big myth. The more dialysis you do, the better you will feel actually.
I agree with it.
If you could talk to your past self before diagnosis, what would you say? Oh my God, this is a loaded question. I think I would say enjoy your life, travel a lot, do things that you ever always wanted to do. And because what's coming up is something that you're never going to expect. So enjoy yourself a little more. Don't be so hard on yourself. And take yourself uh, a little less seriously.
Okay. This burnout for the patient or our guest. For this one, maybe I just talk to our patient, keep on talking, and then telling his stories. At least they can feel, even if they're at the center, they feel that they're not at the center. I'm treating them as a family, um, and then also, what do you call this? Kumbaga, kung napapagod na yung patient, most of the supports are really coming from the family. The clinical or the nurses in the centers is just as a second. But we're not at least make them feel that way. That's why we're treating them as a family if they're already at the center.
No, don't do that one. That's already done. Put the next one. Yeah.
Okay, Sir Kamal, have
Yeah,
you
I
ever
read the
felt-
question. So I'll answer this
Okay.
question. I think this is a very, very important question about relationships, right? A lot of people feel that being in a relationship with kidney disease is kind of, you sometimes feel guilty about it because, you are having a chronic condition and you're in a relationship. It's unfair to the person with whom you're having a relationship with. I think I don't think we should feel guilty at all, provided we have an open conversation with the individual saying that this is where I am in life, this is what I'm dealing with, and now if you are okay with it, we can go ahead. I think by having a transparent, open discussion, and again, you don't need to have this discussion right on the first date, right? This can come a few dates down the line when there is some basic level of comfort that you have established. At that point, you can have a conversation and say, I need to talk about something very important today, and then tell them about your journey with kidney failure and that you are undergoing dialysis or wherever you are in your journey with kidney failure. And then if they are okay with it, you go ahead with it. If it's too much for them to take, then you call it off. But I think there is absolutely no need to feel guilty about it, provided you've been transparent and you've communicated this to them.
Sir, can you share a moment during your experience that made you feel proud of how far you've come?
Yes, there have been instances where things have not turned out well. For example, my transplant, when it failed and I had to get back onto dialysis. At these instances, I think I'm happy that I was able to bounce back about reading by about how I was able to get back to a normal life, and I feel pretty proud because I find that there are a lot of people who are not able to bounce back, and that's really sad because it is possible to bounce back. And I'm pretty happy with the way that I have dealt with the setbacks that I've had at various stages of my life, and the fact that I've bounced back and I'm here today, and I've started a multi-nation dialysis network, which is largest in Asia, and we're serving 35,000 guests every day.
I think those setbacks, sir, are the reason why you're here and why are we here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this for me. When a patient comes overweight Monday morning, how do you handle the conversation without making them feel? Of course, just like I said, I'm treating them as a family, so I'm just telling in a nice way so that they don't feel that uh, I'm mad at them that they have a over fluid or overweight from the basing on the their dry weight, just like that.
Yeah, there's this question about needles. I think a lot of patients are scared of needles, and that's probably the most terrifying part of dialysis. So what I do is I apply a cream called 𝗕𝗺𝗺, the equivalent is 𝗕𝗺𝗺, I guess, and I apply it about an hour before dialysis. It's not at all, there is this thinking that it's all in the mind. Believe me, needles are not all in the mind. The pain experienced by patients during the cannulation process is real, very much real. But good thing is this cream is very effective, and I'm not sure of how freely it is available in the Philippines, but where I stay in India, you can buy that off a pharmacy very easily, and I apply it about an hour or so before my treatment, and I cover it with a piece of gauze and tape so that it doesn't, soil my clothes. But that is very effective at handling pain. So don't accept pain just as, like I said, don't think it is something all in your mind and that you can get over it. Do something about it. Talk to your team and see if you can apply this cream that will numb that area.
Yeah, I've seen one of my guests using the
Nice, nice.
Sir Gama, do you have favorite memory of the session, perhaps fun activity organized by the center, meaningful interaction that stay with you?
Yeah, I think so. I remember my center celebrating my birthday. So I felt it was a very thoughtful gesture on the center's part when they brought a cake, and they had my family come over and a couple of friends come over, and we cut the cake and celebrated my birthday. I think it was a very thoughtful gesture, and I really appreciated them for it.
Okay, what's advanced tech coming from the Philippines soon? Are we ever going to see portable machines or better home options here, sir?
Honestly, that is a question that does not have a very. I can't promise and say that there is better tech coming very soon. I believe it will come, but it all depends on the regulatory mechanisms here in the Philippines and what those companies would need to do to bring those machines here. Plus, there is the whole question of affordability. How many patients can actually afford these machines, because they can be pretty expensive compared to what is currently available. So I'm not too sure about the answer on that one, but it's definitely not going to be very, very soon. It's going to be at least medium to long term.
How do you stay tough when you lose a patient you've known for years? How does the clinical team process that? Sa akin. Okay. That's for me. Well, actually, we're having a huddle, and then doesn't mean that we shouldn't at least emotionally connected to the guests, but still we're trying to talk about it so that it can't affect the whole treatment or the operation. For both of us, if you could change one hospital rule to make the dialysis experience feels less like a clinic and more like community, what would it be? Huh. How about you, Sir Kamal? Hospital rule. Do you have, sir?
I think
What
there
do you
is, it's probably not a rule that is written, but it is probably a rule that is more in our minds. And I think in dialysis clinics, just to make the whole experience a little more cheerful, I think allowing probably music to be played or something like that, I think that would make the experience a little less like a clinic.
Yes, sir. That would be possible, sir.
Yep.
Mr. Kamal, this is my last question. Your life and experience are truly inspiring. If your story were made into a movie, oh, would you want to play? We're talking
Keanu
about this.
Reeves. Keanu Reeves would be my answer. Are people here familiar with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, sir.
Nice. Okay.
He's a star here.
Okay.
He made a lot of movies. Yeah. And then okay, this is for me. What's the ideal blood flow and for Philippine patient versus Western standards? How do you balance high efficiency with risk cardiovascular stress during a 4-hour session? I have one answer to this. Actually, it depends on the doctor's order still. Of course, the more the higher the blood flow, the more the blood of the guest will cleanse. But still, depends on the case of the guest and doctor's order.
Thank you.
How about your blood flow? Have you experienced the 300?
I typically run at 300 milliliters per minute at home when I'm doing my dialysis.
Okay, but you're not experiencing some problem like palpitate.
No,
doesn't-
no.
Because some of our patient maybe it's uh, they're only running for 4 hours because for if they I set the blood flow for at least a 300 and then set the 4 hours. In just 2 hours, they complaining already.
Yeah, so see, each individual is different, right? Each
Yeah,
individual has a different need, different capacity. So it is important for the nephrologist to weigh in and prescribe a blood flow that works for that patient. So while some people, cannot tolerate 300, for some 300 works
Yeah.
just fine. For some 300 may be too low because they're not getting enough clearance. So it all depends on, it differs from patient to patient, and the nephrologist has to prescribe the blood flow as well.
Yes, sir. If I may ask, sir, is there any chance that the way you do the treatment can do here in the Philippines?
Yeah, of course. So it is possible to do 5 nights a week and to do nocturnal sessions. It's just about the provider figuring out a way in which it can be done. but I'm sure it can be figured out if somebody is interested to do that kind of modality.
I see. Okay, Sir Kamal, I've read your book with your knowledge right now on how to live your life on dialysis. What advice can you give to your younger self or the person just starting on dialysis, sir?
We talked about this, right? About folks who are just starting out on dialysis. But I
Yeah.
just repeat for the sake of the question being asked right now is that learn about the various options for treatment for kidney failure. There are 4 options. It's not only hemodialysis. You have peritoneal dialysis, you have conservative care, and you have kidney transplants. Learn about all those options and talk to your doctor and figure out what is the best option for you, and get vaccinated for hepatitis B, right? That's a very important thing. Get registered on the cadaver transplant list if there's a cadaver program near you. So I think these are the things that I would advise.
I see. What is the difference between low flux and high flux in terms of for size? How do you how do you choose which one is safer for patient with a sensitive heart? Actually, still depends on the doctors or I mean the case of the patient. Still depending on the doctor's order. If he or she is going to order uh, low flux or high flux. What do you wish people understood about living with dialysis? What gives you hope despite the challenges? Yes, sir.
I think, again, at the risk of repeating myself, I've spoken about this multiple times during this podcast, is that I wish people do not think that once somebody gets onto dialysis, it's the end of life. People can lead a normal life despite being on dialysis, provided they get good quality dialysis, they follow their doctor's orders on diet and fluid, and they have a positive frame of mind where they are willing to fight and do what it takes to get back a normal life. Because it's important that the individual has the desire for a normal life, and then it should be possible to, get back to a normal life.
Okay, sir. In the Philippines, our tap water quality varies widely. What are the specific technical stages that ensures the water entering the machine is pure than bottled water? Okay, this is for me, sir. Technical side. This is technical side. So we're doing the monthly and quarterly water test. So for us to determine if it's fit to use as for the dialysis gas treatment. Hello, sir. Can you share some example of high potassium food we should be careful with? Of course, high potassium. At least the lanzones, tapos, and then banana. I think those two fruits are high on potassium, so that at least we need to avoid for us not to get a complication. Oh, okay. So thank you everyone, especially to our online viewers. And please, if you have a comment or still want to share some journey, please don't hesitate to message us. Message us. Of course, we are here for you. And then, do you have last message, sir?
Yeah, I do. And I think I'd like to summarize what I've been saying throughout this podcast is that, do not think that dialysis means the end of your life. It does not mean the end of anything. Despite being on dialysis, you can lead a completely normal life. You can work, travel, exercise, play a sport, marry, have kids, do things that healthy individuals can. It's important, however, to get good quality dialysis and to follow your doctor's orders in terms of diet, dialysis frequency, dialysis number of hours, and fluid limits. Take your medication as prescribed by the doctor. Make sure your hemoglobin is in control, taking your EPO injections, iron injections, and so on. And by doing all these things, by taking care of these different things, you can get your life back. You can lead a life you were meant to, that you want to, and never accept defeat at the hands of this dirty disease called kidney disease. It is a brutal disease, but good thing is there are ways and means by which we can fight and get control of our life back. There are hundreds and thousands of people who have done it. It is possible to do it. So you can fight too. Because at Nephroplus, we believe that life can be normal even when your kidneys are not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kamal. And again, thank you for all the viewers. Please don't forget to like and share and tag to the others. And for our here are some important reminders. Kidney disease affects both in body and emotions. And it is okay to feel sad, scared, and tired. Talking openly helps reduce stigma and support from each other, especially to our loved ones and family. And most of all, and there's nothing to be ashamed of if you're a kidney or dialysis patient. Okay, again, thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us to Alam Mo Ba To sa Kwento at Kaalaman, Panalo tayo. And then a special thank you to our special guest, our co-founder, Sir Kamal Shah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
for,
so
uh,
much. Thank you so much for having
and
me.
and then don't forget to in next episode, please we will continue sharing helpful information about kidney, and please like and share. And then we have at least please follow us on our 𝗕𝗺𝗺 on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and Viber community. And again, until next time, take care of your kidneys and take care of your lives. And then I'm your host, Mark 𝗕𝗺𝗺𝗺, clinical manager. And then keep your kidneys reminding and keep living your best life, sir. And then see you on the next episode. Alam mo ba to, sa Kwento at Kaalaman, Panalo tayo.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.